GuitarLessons.com, the #1 name in guitar lessons online.
Hey, I'm Nate Savage, and welcome to GuitarLessons.com. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you 5 fun guitar licks that I like to use. So let me get started by showing you the first one. Okay, this is an easy one, but it's really cool sounding, and it's really bluesy sounding, and I like it. The first thing you're going to do is come up and let you know we're in the key of like A blues. So you can take your ring finger on the 7th fret on the G and the B strings, take those 2 notes, play them, and then bend them up, let them back down, then hit the 5th fret with your index finger, same 2 strings, back up to the 7th, back down to the 5th, and then you're going to hammer on and pull off onto the 6th fret with your G string with your middle finger. So let me play that whole little phrase for you real quickly. Slowly though. Second half of the lick is this right here. So all you're going to do after you finish the little hammer on, you're going to go to the 7th fret with your 3rd finger on your D string. And then you're going to go back up to the G string on your 5th fret with your index. You're going to come down with your index finger, kind of roll it over to catch the 5th fret on your D string. And hammer on to the 7th fret with your 3rd finger. So the whole thing slowly is this right here. Put some vibrato into it at the end if you want. Work on it slowly, make sure those bends sound good up and up to pitch. And you can apply this to any lick you're doing, really. Use that bending, make your own licks, use some of those hammer-ons, and make your own licks with that one. Okay, for the next lick we're going to do, we're going to stay in the key of an A blues using our regular minor pentatonic shape. Let me show you the lick real quick, and this one's a little bit shorter and easier, and we'll break it down for you, okay? So you're going to take your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of your G string, bend that note up a whole step, and then come right across with your index finger on the B and the E strings on the 5th fret, and get those 2 with an upstroke and then a downstroke. And that's the whole lick, really. You just got to get to where you can loop it together. So there's one other thing you should notice about this lick. If I start off with a downstroke on the bend, my first strum is going to be up and down. The thing about it is, when you come back up over to the G string to bend it again, you're going to be on an upstroke. So your strumming has to start with a down. And it kind of alternates, starting with a downstroke and then starting with an upstroke. And that's probably the hardest actual part of this lick. Okay, the next lick we're going to learn is kind of really closely related to the last one we did, but it's going to involve some different techniques with our right hand. If you've ever listened to Jimmy Page or anybody like that, you're definitely going to recognize a lick like this. So let me play it for you, then I'll break down what I'm doing. Okay, you'll probably recognize the shape on that lick from the last lick we just learned, and it's kind of the same thing, but instead of playing, we're going to bend up that same note and then come with our middle finger and our ring finger and pick each of those notes individually on the B string and the E string. So you have. Now, if you've never done anything like this before with electric guitar, this kind of hybrid picking where you use your pick and your fingers at the same time, you'll really want to start slowly. And one thing to remember is to be relaxed when you're doing this with your 2 fingers that you're using to pick the strings that you normally don't do that with. And another thing you might want to do is just isolate those 2 fingers. just practice picking with those two fingers. That'll help smooth the lick out a lot. Okay, the next lick we're going to learn is a totally different vein. It's a pentatonic lick that's in the key of G major, and it uses string pairs to work our way down the guitar. Let me play it for you real quickly, and then we'll break it down and see what's up with it. Okay, I use this lick on endings of songs all the time. Sometimes I mellow it out a little bit and slow it down, like if I have a church gig or something, in the end of a slow song. Like that. So let me show you what's going on with it. Basically, we're taking all 5 of our pentatonic shapes, starting on the 15th fret with our high E string and our B string, and just working those 2 notes all the way down the fretboard in the key of G major. So take your index finger, put it on the 15th fret, covering kind of a little mini bar on your B string and your E string. Slide that up to the 17th fret. Play the E string on that 17th fret, back down to the B string. Slide down to the 15th, hit the E string on the 15th, back to the B, slide down to the 12th, rock it back up to the E string, back down to the B, slide to the 10th, up to the E on the 10th, back to the B. Now here's where it changes a bit. You're going to slide down to the 8th fret on your B string, but you want the 7th fret on your high E string. So I'll make a little shift there. And I get this, go back to the B string on the 8th fret, with my middle finger, slide down to the 5th fret, hit the 5th fret of my high E string with my middle finger, back to the B string on the 5th fret, slide down to the 3rd fret, then rock over to the 3rd fret on the high E, and that's the end of the lick. The hardest part about this lick is the transition from just using your index finger to working your middle finger in there. So just be aware of that when you're practicing licks like this. The next lick we're going to learn is a lick that's similar to the last one, but we're going to be playing thirds down the fretboard, kind of outlining the chords in the key of G major. Let me play it for you, and then we'll break it down and see how it works. Okay, basically we're using 2 shapes to come down the fretboard in the key of G major, starting with a minor third on our F sharp. I'm not going to worry too much about exactly what all the chords are. I'm just going to show you the shapes and let you mess with the lick. But you're going to start off with your 3rd finger on the 14th fret of your high E string, and your middle finger is going to get the G string on the 14th fret. You're going to play the G string, then the E string, then back to the G, slide down to the 12th fret, same shape, same thing. Once you slide down, come hit the E string, back to the G, slide down 1 fret to the 11th fret, and then your index finger is going to get the 10th fret on the high E string, then back to the 11th fret with your middle, slide down once you've hit that to the 9th fret with your middle finger on the G, and the 8th fret is going to be hit by your index finger, back to the G string. Now once you hit that, you slide down to the 7th fret, right? You're going to come back up with your ring finger on the 7th fret of the E string this time. Back to the G string, slide down to the 5th fret. 3rd finger is going to grab the same fret on the E string. Back to the G string, slide down 1 fret, then grab the 3rd fret with your index finger to end on a G to give it some rest. Okay, so let me play it slowly for you real quick. Quickly. Okay, so take these licks, make them your own, change them up, play variations of them, and put them in as many different keys as you can.